This is a fully 3D printed disc golf disc that was custom made for me from scratch. It turns out that printing a disc that actually works is way harder than I anticipated. But it can be done. So now I'm taking this to one of the toughest courses in the world and see if this disc can hold up. And honestly, I wasn't expecting this. For a while now, I've wanted to make my own disc, or at the very least, get a logo stamped on a disc. Now usually you need factory and industrial scale injection moulding equipment, but when Amadeus from Deuz Discs reached out and said he can make custom discs from his bedroom, I jumped straight on a video call where he took me through the entire process. So, how do you make a 3D printed disc?
So basically you need a CAD software. Myself, I use Fusion 360 and draw a 2D sketch. So basically the outline of the disc.
Think how a driver is different to a midrange.
Then I revolve it around and it becomes a three-dimensional object. And that gets fed to a program called a slicer, and it basically slices the model to something the 3D printer will understand.
3D printers work by depositing molten plastic in a specific pattern, layer by layer. So the slicer basically splits the 3D CAD model up into these layers.
So even though it's called 3D printing, in reality it's like 2.5D printing.
It's then sent to the 3D printer.
My first disc was roughly 11.5 hours. So nowadays I can get around 3 hours per disc.
So at the end of all that, you end up with a disc. The whole process sounds easy, right?
Fail. I spent an insane amount of time, I would say.
So Amadeus started Deuz Discs as a way to create his own disc.
No intention to do it a business, to be honest. I just want to feed the hobby itself, so...
In his words, a passion project.
If I can recoup 50% out of what I'm giving into the hobby, being quite negative, I'm fine with that.
Since founding Deuz Discs in 2019, Amadeus has hit some pretty big milestones, including getting 2 discs PDGA-approved. But it was a struggle.
I created probably 10 to 20 different iterations of discs before finding the correct shape, which had printed miraculously.
Amadeus stumbled upon the unicorn disc, the perfect flight.
Was bullet straight and glided really well, but I couldn't replicate it. That disc was a unicorn. I remember having 9 or 10 failures consecutive, and I thought there was something wrong with the machine.
Turns out he'd been looking at the problem in the wrong way. 3D printing, the general rule is to have no more than 45-degree overhangs. So because the disc is printed upside down, the overhang becomes the shape of the top of the disc.
I designed it with that in mind. Surprise, surprise, it printed well. The first time I thought it was like, oh, Now I hit it.
This was the Milestone, a repeatable 3D printed disc golf putter, and this is the first disc that was made for me. Now you might have noticed the custom Disc Golf Shenanigans stamp on the disc. Well, because it's 3D printed, the stamps are actually part of the disc.
I'm calling them virtually indestructible.
So no more stamps fading away. And that's just one of the hidden benefits to 3D printed disc golf discs.
I can control where it puts more plastic.
And also change what type of plastic is used, even within the same disc.
For now, it has been more of an upgrade to the feel of the disc.
Amadeus usually uses 95A TPU, which is a good balance between rigidity and not shattering on the first tree hits. But
you can print really soft stuff. Of course, the difference is that when you're printing really soft stuff, the printing time goes drastically up.
So these are my custom-made discs.
I sent you the sequence, the mid-range, Milestone retooled, and the world's most overstable disc.
These first two are PDGA-approved, so I can use them in tournaments, but only if they make the bag. And I thought the best way to decide that was to take them to one of the toughest and most iconic courses in the world. This is Maple Hill. So before I went, I had to ask, how do you think I'm going to do with your disc at Maple Hill?
I would probably sound really Finnish when saying like this. Don't throw it in the pond, please.
Oh, it's so cold.
I hope they will fly great if they don't fly in the pond.
Yeah, I'd say this one was pretty great. It flew pretty damn well and almost was a black ace. Oh, almost a black ace in the red basket. So first impressions, it feels really good and you can't feel the stamp either. And I'll just add, it's got these grooves on the back from the 3D printing that actually gives pretty good grip.
They're surprisingly good to forehand.
Yeah, I think I agree with Amadeus on that one.
I don't know what is it with them, but I feel like the shape of them holds up better when you have that unclean forehand that I do have myself also.
So I'd already messed my shot up and was going from the drop zone. So I had this daunting forehand, parked it.
Hooray! I almost died there though.
Yeah, it fits quite well in the hand for forehand, really easy to grip. So the problem with Maple Hill is that most holes require a driver, and the only hole that was perfect for mids and putters, I basically shanked all my shots.
There we go. No!
Oh. And well, not just that hole, you've got to be locked in to play Maple Hill.
Well, that's safe.
So here's an actual flight comparison back in England. I'm throwing the Milestone, the putter, against the proxy. Now, of course, I had to try putting with the putter, but there's not many better places to test out other than the iconic drop zone of hole 8.
No!
Yeah, for my second attempt, I forgot to listen to Amadeus.
Throw it in the pond, please.
Yep, straight in the water, back to fishing at Maple Hill. It's actually kind of ridiculous how many water carriers there are. So 3D printed discs in water, tick. So my main excuse for my performance was that it was mad windy that day, but I did pull off this absolutely insane blind up shot. So after an awful drive and a pitch up back to the fairway, I was left with this blind lie to get to the pin. Now you've got to go up and over a hill, down to a small little island, surrounded by water. It's actually really hard to see from the camera how insane this shot actually was. It was basically 100% feel and crossing all my fingers. But I trusted the Milestone and it delivered. Bullseye hit, tapping par. I love these discs.
Can't believe I hit the pole.
So one disc that I couldn't fit in my suitcase was the world's most overstable disc. And Amadeus was not lying. Now I have a Discmania Tilt, which most people can agree is incredibly overstable. So I thought I'd show you a direct comparison. I tried with the craziest Annie and it was still fly out of it. This disc is something else. So does a 3D printed disc hold up at Maple Hill? Interestingly, it does. Honestly, the forehands were surprisingly really good. Backhands are good. I think for me, they've got a little bit less glide than a similar kind of disc. They're almost kind of like a little bit bergy, but kind of definitely a lot more glide than bergs. They're definitely usable. I think with the wind, that kind of characteristic really helped. Now, I really like the new sequence. I think that was a really cool disc to use. The retooled Milestone, I liked it too. Very straight. Almost made a putt from the iconic drop zone on hole 8. If you've not tried a 3D printed disc, and if you've not tried a Deuz disc, you should go get yourself one and you'd be surprised. I think it will actually probably make the bag. Probably more likely the sequence. I really like that disc, especially on a forehand. So if you haven't already, please go like and subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.